Hi you guys, thanks for tuning into my channel once again. Before I get started, I want to say thanks so much for the support that I received on the first video. Thanks for all the people who commented and shared and liked, and I just really appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, I decided that going forward, I'm going to try my best to not make the videos so long because I realize nobody has 15 minutes. I don't even have 15 minutes, so I appreciate you. Everybody who stuck in there for the 15 minutes for the first video. But like I said, I'm still working out the kinks. So going forward, I'm trying to keep these about 5, 6, 7 minutes or so. So today's topic is greatness. So I want to start off with a question. If I was to ask you your definition of a great person, what would you say? Would it be someone who's a great entertainer? Someone who is just a great historian or a great speaker, someone like Maya Angelou, someone like Beyonce, who's just so entertaining and just has a bunch of followers and a bunch of people who just love and support her? What's your definition of greatness? Maybe it's someone in your family that has been just the rock and a solid foundation. I think greatness covers all of those areas. Greatness encompasses a lot of things and a lot of different people. And there's a misconception out there that in order to be great, you have to have some type of large following, a bunch of followers on Twitter, a bunch of likes on Facebook, that somehow you have to have received some type of honor, or there's something written in an article or something on the media saying that this person is great because X, Y, and Z. I'm challenging that, and I'm saying greatness is right in front of your mirror. If you look in the mirror, you see yourself, and greatness lies within you. Greatness is not just selective. It's not just a selective thing where just one person has it, or somebody who's really talented has it, or somebody who has a lot of friends or who's well-spoken has it. I believe greatness is in everyone. I sincerely believe that from the bottom of my heart. I know that as people, we are just so multifaceted, and a lot of times you don't see our greatness. You might see our anger or our issues or our bitterness or whatever, our dysfunction, but I still believe greatness is in there too. And I really believe that the enemy will have you think that you don't have any greatness in you whatsoever, because maybe you don't look the part, or maybe you're not that well spoken, or maybe nobody listens to what you have to say. Maybe your ideas are so out there. So greatness is like for other people, but not for you. I'm challenging that, and I'm saying that's so not true. I totally believe that some of the greatest people in our society, books will never be written about them. They'll never receive some type of honor or some type of award. But that still doesn't mean they're not great. You don't have to wait on somebody to tell you or affirm you that you're great. True greatness does not have to receive recognition or affirmation in order to know that they're great. Okay? That's a message. Remember that point. So I wrote some notes so I won't go off on a tangent, kind of like I did on my last video. But you might say, okay, what are some ways I can be great? Because greatness encompasses a lot of things, right? So it goes back to my last video in being the change that you want to see. Being a leader in your community, in your home, taking the initiative to do things the way that you know they could be done, or the way that they should be done. A lot of the times in corporate America, even within the home, in relationships, sometimes in friendships, there's a power struggle, right? There's always like somebody wanting to be the leader, and maybe the other person doesn't want to be the follower. This is a way that you can be a leader. You can set in motion the change that you actually want to see in the world, in your home, in your community. It does not have to be something major where you write a speech and you talk about these things are going to happen. You know, it can just be small acts. I think a lot of the times we overlook the small acts, and a lot of the times it's the small acts that are actually great acts because nobody's doing them. So I wanted to share with you guys a couple of examples of people that I think are great that you probably never have heard of. One man's name is Vertus Hardiman. In 1927, he was a 5-year-old little boy who was treated as a guinea pig for an experiment on radiation treatment. And as a result, he got too much radiation, and as a result, he got a massive hole in his head, a physical deformity. And so he's had to wear wigs his whole life. There was a documentary filmed about him, and there was a book written about him. And it's very tragic what he endured, but what I thought was really great about him is that he has endured his whole life this situation without any anger or bitterness in his heart. And if you watch the film and if you read the book, you will see that he talks about forgiveness, and he knows that you can't move on and you can't be better unless you forgive. And I just think that is great. How many of us struggle with forgiving people for small, petty, little things? You know, how many of us probably have a physical deformity as a result of something somebody else has done, you know, and we struggle with forgiving them. So I think that was great. His attitude was great. That's another thing I forgot to mention. A lot of times you don't have to do something great or accomplish something great or make a lot of money, but your attitude can be great, and everybody's in charge of their own attitude. But that's so easy to forget, right? Another person I heard of is a couple that has raised 19 kids, and they've adopted kids from orphanages, and they've specifically adopted the children that nobody else wanted. So the children with disabilities, the children with physical deformities, the children with diseases that you well know are going to require more care, more effort, more time, more money than just a normal healthy child. I think that is great that they would do something like that. So there's never going to probably be, well, maybe they will, but there's likely not going to be any kind of awards that couple is going to get, but yet they're acting in love, and they're doing something great for the next generation. The woman who was speaking about it at the time was currently raising a 27-year-old girl who was developmentally at a 6-month capacity, and she was never going to get past that, but she just loved her, and she talked about her as if she was just, you know, as great as Flojo or something like that. So what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to accomplish some kind of great goal that society is going to pat you on the back for in order to be great. Greatness starts in here. It starts with an attitude. It starts with the way you treat people. It really starts with the way you feel about yourself. So I'll have to do another video on that sometime soon. But I challenge you to look in the mirror and be great today. Okay? I'm Maya, and that's my time.